Well, hi everybody. We are back talking about learning to love, how to love, biblical characteristics of love. We found some in 1 Corinthians 13. We've found some in Galatians 5. We found some in Matthew 5. I want to take us to the book of John. Jesus told his disciples, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. You will obey my commandments. And in one way, we can look at that and say, well, okay, that's obeying God, and that's how we love God, and that's God-directed. And yet, when we love God by obeying God, that translates into all kinds of excellent love for others, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You know, when we talk about keeping the commandments, first of all, let's define that, because that's very frustrating. Some people say, well, we were under the old covenant of the law, and we couldn't live under that, so now we're under the New Testament. Well, we're not under the New Testament law. Some people can read into the New Testament actually a harsher law than even existed in the Old Testament. When Jesus said, if you love me, you'll follow my commandments, what he was really talking about is he saw coming forward the Holy Spirit. He saw those daily admonitions that were in our heart to say, as the prophet Isaiah saw one day coming, turn to the left, turn to the right. We call it the global positioning system in the Spirit.
Yeah.
You know, in 500 yards, go ask that guy to forgive you. In 300 yards, take a left, go call that person you haven't seen in a while. Why? I haven't seen in a while. Just do it. And as you're led by the Spirit, you're obeying the commandments of Jesus, and those are daily. Now, in a general sense, of course, love your neighbor as yourself, love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and spirit, and these two, it fulfills the law, as Jesus said. But how do I do that? How do I go about obeying those commandments? It's a sensitivity to the Holy Spirit. And that, again, is learned. So when you're talking about obedience to the commandments of the Creator of the universe, it's learning to hear the voice. First, an intention to follow Him. So if Jesus says, if you love me, you'll do this. Well, what's the definition of love? Well, I consider others more important than myself. So what Jesus is asking from us, will you consider my interests more important than your own interests? Yes, Lord, I will. Okay, now I've got to teach you to hear my voice, which is a learned opportunity. A little bit like in the Old Testament with Samuel, you know, he would hear the voice, didn't know it was, who's talking. We have to learn to hear the voice of the Lord. And in doing so, we then can follow His commandments. Not just go to the New Testament, feel beat up, because you know what happened right after what you just quoted in John. Jesus says, and by the way, my commandments are not burdensome. Well, if you read this with an Old Testament heart, you read the New Testament, you go, those are incredibly burdensome.
Absolutely.
I could never do this. But those daily, simple affirmations, you know what? Give that guy a call. You know what? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go invite that guy next week to the fellowship. He'll say no. Play golf with him on Saturday. Just be a friend. And then watch what I'm going to do. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you think. I know the end from the beginning. Consider my interests more important than your own. Listen to the voice. Yeah, but there's all cons and it doesn't matter. Listen to the voice. Listen, these are my commandments to you today. And you do it. And then, of course, well, now you're ready to have the kingdom explode around you. You're going to be walking in the supernatural realm. Remember, Jesus said, everything that I've done, you're going to do these things, and even greater things you're going to do. So we have to anticipate a radical spiritual encounter. Pardon me for this word, but it's true. It's a mystical experience in following Jesus. And it's what the world desires. They don't want dead creed and religious nonsense. They are looking for radical relationship.
But what's mystical is always rooted in what's very practical and right on the page. So he says, a new commandment I give you, love one another.
Exactly.
He's not going to send us off, you know, doing things for our own sake or doing things against Him. We know that GPS stays within the framework of the map.
He never violates His word through His commandments.
That's right.
Right? Or even the spirit of the word. Although Jesus did some things that were outside their religious views. So sometimes we'll be called to do something that may not quite fit exactly whatever brand you used to ascribe to, but it is a Spirit-led thing. He won't violate the text, but He may violate our traditions at times. And that's where, you know, we need counsel, we need community to bounce things off, you know.
That's right. Yeah, and that's part of the learning together. So, well, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah.